Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be starting a new series on tutorials for The Sims 4. In this series, we're going to be talking about different ways to play, different techniques that I found helpful for The Sims 4. Some of these were pretty popular to do back in the day when it first came out, but I find that mostly people just do speed builds now, or gameplay. But they don't really tell you how to do it. So I thought maybe it'd be helpful to do it as well. In this particular episode, I'm going to be going over some ways to build. There are several ways you can do it. You can use blueprints, such as these, or you can use inspiration from the internet, such as these. And I find that there is also the technique of putting down tiles on the ground and spacing it out to be your rooms. I am going to show you how I do that in this particular video, how you do the walls, how you can turn on and off the grid, and just some tips and tricks along the way as I go. Stick around, I'm going to do a lot of talking in this video, so it's going to be pretty casual. I really appreciate you watching this video. And hopefully you'll learn something, and maybe even if you're new, maybe if you're not, you're gonna learn something, and maybe you can teach me some stuff too. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Here we're gonna go ahead and get started. As you can see, there is a grid on, and what I do is I just pick a tile, and it doesn't matter the colors at all, like at all. They could be bright pink, rainbow, purple, it doesn't matter, black. But what matters is that see there, I'm turning on and off the grid. I hit G on the keyboard and it turns it on and off. Sometimes that's helpful, sometimes it's not. It really depends on what you're needing to do. In this case, when you're setting down tiles, it is helpful to have it on. I scroll out using the middle mouse button, the wheel. And I'm just placing down what I'm going to predict as my hallway. Now for this particular home, I am wanting the kitchen to be the central location. So I make it there at the end using that white as a marker. I'm using these extra ones. See, it doesn't really matter at all what tile you use, as long as they're different from each other. They can't match, otherwise it's going to get confusing. So there's one room, here's another room. And I'm just extending that. And all I'm doing to place them is holding down the left mouse button and dragging them. Just making sure I zoom out with my wheel again. And I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to start mapping this out too. Now for this one, I knew that this was going to be my living room, so I needed to be very large. This was going to be the bathroom. But as you'll see, I actually changed my plan later, which is perfectly fine. When you're building, you change your plan all the time. This was going to be my stairs. And just spinning around by holding down the wheel button and turning your mouse. I'm just counting. There we go. I'm just making sure I got what I want. So at this point, I'm going to show you kind of my plan. So this is living room. I was going to be the office, but I changed it. And then it was going to be kitchen, bathroom, stairway. I just put the walls down. I find putting the walls down when I'm building much easier because it is easier to see where you're aiming. Otherwise, there's going to be misses. And, I'm not a perfect builder. This is just all ideas and tips and tricks that I find is very helpful. You'll see I make plenty of mistakes as I go. I miss a little bit here and there. It's not even and it bugs me. Here, I'm changing the plan. You can see I'm like, I think I'm going to make it a little less than that. I can't go to the edge. You can only go one block in from the border, which can really challenge you sometimes. See, that one little block. The tiles can go there, but you personally can't build there. So if you see that middle arrow right there, that's what you grab and you pull up, and it'll take the foundation up a few steps, and then you're going to be able to get a higher foundation, which I really like doing because I like having stairs and like a porch or a patio. So I've decided to make my porch here instead of having it enclosed. And I'm making sure it's lined up. Now here I find it's easier to have lighting in your rooms. There is several ways of doing this. I find these little saucer lights are the best, and you can change them out later. They're just really placeholders so you can see what you're doing. Now the doors. And there is no particular order of doing this. You know, you could do windows first, you could do doors first, you could do all your wallpapering and your floor tiles first. This is just the way that I find works best for me. Now this one was kind of confusing for me because I kept being able to put these really big ones in there even though it didn't really have the space for it. But I ended up going with this one. I felt that one worked well, led straight into the kitchen. I still kind of wanted a big one, but you know, I think that looks really good. Going down to the, oh my goodness, not the platforms, oh my gosh, see, it's like live, right? Foundation, there we go. And what you do is you just add it in there, and you have to be careful because it can delete your walls. But I'm making a big patio. I was thinking a wraparound at first. I do ultimately change my mind on this. Again, change your mind all you want. That's how this works. It's part of the fun of the game. See, I'm shortening it up there and going, eh. And I end up with the patio in the back, or the decking in the back, I should say. And see, I took it out a little too far there. Oh, and you see, I deleted it. So you got to be really, really careful, really, really mindful. You just grab those little arrows and you just pull. Grab the arrow, pull, or push. Either way. I'm just checking my lines here. And then for the stairs. So as you can see, the stairs are too close to the edge, the border, so we could not put them in. So here's a little trick for that. Now it's going to be hard because my screen kind of cuts it out, but that border line is a problem. You just simply cannot build on it with the lines, with the walls, foundation, or anything. So what you do is you go up here, you hit that, and then you just pull your whole lot wherever you want it. And you can rotate it as well, but in this case, we're just pulling it. Go back down. Now we can get those stairs in there. You hit rotate. There you go. Now, if you don't like the way the stairs look, it's okay. You don't have to delete them. You can just grab a new pair and pop them on top. And if you want them longer, you can grab those arrows. And we got some of that initial foundation out there that we put down for our planning. Easy enough. You grab your little hammer and you just grab, hold, and drag. And that's the sledgehammer. And I was just making sure I got all of it at that moment. Go back up. Now we can keep this. This could be like a covered area for the porch if we wanted to by just leaving it there. But if we want to get rid of it, you click on this yellow line and you just click and you'll say remove ceiling. There you go. And it's gone. Easy peasy. So we're just working on those doors again. Making sure of which ones we want. I do find that if you want a house to look kind of complete, you're going to want to have the same color door and same style door throughout the home, if possible. So like this one, we're going with kind of like white, just because it's supposed to be kind of a lighter colored home. And I'm deciding to put in a couple more arches here. Oh, just one. Just taking a look, making sure everything's lining up how I'm really wanting it. Thinking about adding more arches. Now this room at the bottom, I was going to have be an office, but it did change because of the stairs and everything was changed. So the room that I'm working on now was going to be the bathroom, but I need it for the stairs instead. You see, we just popped those stairs in there, and you can see there's light because it is open at the top. And when we go up, you'll see that, but it'll be enclosed once you put your walls up there. So do not stress out about that light. I know it looks bad. Now, I personally like to put a wall here instead of the railings. I find the railings can clip a little bit and it bugs me. But I like doing the walls instead. So that's the room I was talking about earlier. That was going to be the office, but it's going to be the bathroom now. This is going to be a little smaller. Let's see what I do here. Yep, a little smaller. Because the bathroom doesn't need to be huge. Well, not in this case. Just the doors. See, everything's in motion. It doesn't ever be stuck. You can change it however you need to change it. So here we're going to work on the upstairs a little bit. We're just going to go ahead and close it. And make our plan. Now, this is an area where you can, after you enclose it, you can make it the floor tiles again to plan it out. In this case, I don't do that because I already kind of had a plan in my head. Once you become more experienced at building, you will find that you won't need to do the tiles. But, you know, using the blueprints is actually really helpful. Even now, I've been building forever since this game came out. But I find that, and that's just hitting control, by the way. Holding control and then pulling against your walls, and that's going to delete them. But anyways, I get creative blocks sometimes, or I get in ruts where all my houses look the same. There's the foundation again, and I'm just going to use that so that I can make a deck out here. Because it's going to extend past what's out there already, because I'm going to make it as a covered deck on the bottom. But using the blueprints really helps inspire you, and using houses as inspiration too. Pictures of houses, watching other people build is great for inspiration, but I find I can get really discouraged personally. And there's the pillars. So what you do there, some of them do go up when you pull that arrow, though this one particularly did not want to go up. I don't know why. They're finicky, and because I'm on the top, that's why they're bouncing up like that. But I like to do it from the top so I can aim better. It can be kind of tricky to aim otherwise. Oops. See, and I click the move instead of the copy. That's the copy. Click. There you go. Copy again. Bring it over. But anyways, I get discouraged watching people build sometimes because I feel like I just simply cannot do that. And because they're using mods, they're using the tool mod, they're incredible. They're beautiful houses, and I'm so jealous. Oh, now here's a good example here. So basically what you can do is when you do your fencing, you can have that shadowy wall by having that bottom section clicked, or you can click up here and you can drag it yourself like you did the walls. Anyway, my point is that it's good to watch others, but it's good to remember that you are not them, and you can be inspired by them, but don't be discouraged by them. And always remember that you are learning. We are all learning creatures. Okay, so here we're going to change it. So here we change the color here, and then you just hover over it using that bottom option of the fences, and that shadow wall will come up, and then you can just whoop, replace it. Easy, easy. But ultimately, remember, this game is supposed to be fun, so don't stress yourself out. I know it's easy to do sometimes. Let's see, spinning around. So it's good to have matching stairs on the front and the back of the house if possible, but sometimes it's good to change it up too, especially if it's like a wooden deck at the back and then it wasn't wooden in the front. I choose to do the stone here, and I line it up with how I predict I'm going to put the door here. So doing your walls and your doors kind of in the same areas makes sense to the eye. It makes sense in the layout. It makes sense to, like, if this was a real home, you wouldn't expect to be going in like a zigzag to get out the back door. You would expect to kind of go straight through. Same for like realism. Oh, here's the roof. So here you just take that arrow. People struggle with the roofs a lot. And you just drag, drag, drag. And you take that arrow and you just drag again. And you see that green on the bottom will help you line up where you're going. Again, drag, drag, drag. Now for these, I like to do the edges. So you see how the other roof is down? You just grab those little corner ones and you just pull down. And then you just pull out. And then you can go make them tall. Now the round circle ones that I'm not using there will kind of make it look bubbly. So like it'll pooch it out like a cottage if you wanted that, or like a lighthouse, or you can make all sorts of things, domes and all sorts of beautiful things like that. Now I do end up actually hating this roof for a second because I could not get it to line in. I really was frustrated because I like the arch in the front, but it did not work for me. So I'm gonna actually delete that. Just like that. Boom. I'm gonna try again. This time with this roof type. And you just drag corners. And then you just grab that top arrow and you just adjust up and down. Now it's still not perfect. They're hardly ever perfect, but you got that nice lines going now. So it is satisfying for me. Now there is different roof types and colors. I don't change it here, but I'm gonna show you. So like these, you can change all these colors. There is also some special ones that you can use that are glass, these ones, where you can make skylights, you can make greenhouses, you can make sunrooms, or you can just change the colors here as I'm showing you. But we're gonna leave that color alone. Back down to the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and start going in on the floors here a little bit, make them look nicer. So here's something cool you can do. So what you can do is when you take this, and I'm gonna turn the grid off using G. There you go. You can switch them around, turn them by hitting the little arrow key. I'll put it up on the wall on the picture here, so that you can make the go a different direction. Sometimes it looks good going long way, sometimes it looks good going this way. Now you can hold shift and click and it'll fill the whole room, or you can just hold down, go to your corners, hold down your left mouse button and drag. Here I'm just using shift because it's much faster, but if you wanted to do like a floor that was like part rug, part wood, you could just like drag. Moving right along. I had a little hard time picking this one, this front one. Wasn't sure if I liked the color or not, so I kind of fussed with it a little bit. I try stone, which I think I stick with stone for a while. Yep, and then I come upstairs, and then I'm gonna do the patio. Definitely gonna do a wooden patio up here because I feel like stone would be strange up there. So just double checking it. Making sure I got the doors I want, and then I end up adding in my outside doors. I figured this family might be a little large, so I have it multiple exits to the backyard. And it looks nice. I like it. Sometimes it doesn't have to be functional, it just has to be something that you like. Now these foundations, you can change the way they look by coming down here. And then you just pick, and then you see they change. So they can be like thin, they can have that top part. You can just change the color. Some are like nothing on the bottom. And then a lot of them have different colors within them too. So I go with this one at first, and then I didn't like it. And so I ended up changing it to this one, because I like the thinner look versus that wooden top rail situation. And you have to go around, because when you have your separate rooms, they sometimes will divide it and they won't fill out completely. So always double check, because you'll always get that one side that doesn't have it, and you're like, when you go back. So I'm just grabbing that rail because I want it to mimic. So that's using the eyedropper at the top. My best friend, the eyedropper. I love it so much. I use it all the time. So just double checking. You see we got a pretty good looking house, considering we just started from tiles. We're going to start laying out the top floor now. And there's my eyedropper, and then I'm going to match up the lineup for that. And I kind of thought about doing another set of doors, but I decided against it. I'm going to go and get some rails for the stairs. Now, I do feel like the rails should be different for the inside versus the outside, but that's just my opinion. Sometimes it looks good if you do like an indoor-outdoor kind of zone where you can easily transition between the two. So I'm going to make a bedroom here to have the match tiles, match stairs and whatever, doors, windows, tiles. I already said tiles. Fencing, all the good stuff. So I'm just making the bedrooms here, and I noticed they actually were a little smaller than necessary. So see, I just went ahead and changed the plan. No big deal. So here we go with the eyedropper again. I'm grabbing my doors. And I actually decided against these doors, as you're going to see in here in a second, because they were double grid where I needed a single grid, especially for that little thin bathroom right there, that entryway. So here's a single grid block. You can see it's only got the one block, and you're able to put it kind of anywhere you want, really. Just making sure it looks good and makes sense. Now, the thing with the bathroom, which has that, is the one with the narrow hallway right there. It is above the other bathroom, which in a real house, you typically would have wet walls. So walls that have all the plumbing in it. So it would make sense for bathrooms to be aligned with each other, like back to back or on top of each other. And here I'm hitting shift with my mouse and my wallpaper, just getting everything white just as a base. So it doesn't look like construction. Eyedropper, grabbing that, holding down shift, and then I'm gonna rotate it, I believe. Yep. Made sure, see, I didn't like that, so I had to rotate it, go the other direction. There we go. See? Easy, easy. Back to my pointer. Just double checking everything, making sure it's how I want. Gonna start working on the windows. So you have different heights of walls, and you can change it, and then you also have the different heights there in the windows and doors. And so it's good to know what height you're working with here. because if you're trying to get, well, they won't let you actually. If you're trying to put a short or a tall window on a short wall, it won't let you. It'll gray it out. Gray it out. Here it's not letting me do it because of the stairs. The stairs will take away your windows if you put them down first. That's why I typically do the windows kind of last. So here you see that one's up high. It's got a gap, and I try to fix it, and even I could not fix it. It happens. Eyedropper. Putting in more windows. Easy peasy. And just, I find that lining your windows up looks best if you possibly can do it. See here, it's not quite lined up. It's kind of across from each other, but it wouldn't work out in the building if I did line them up. So I actually ended up just doing them a little off, which I think still looks good. If you saw that grab, so what I did was I just grabbed it and then I hit shift and I'm able to copy it and go. So I'm being mindful of not putting big windows in the bottom bathroom. Oops, you gotta fix that one. Because it doesn't make sense to have a ginormous window in a bathroom, which would be right there. Because obviously people can see in and there's a lack of privacy then. Top floor bathroom window isn't as big a deal because typically people aren't going to be able to look in there. So if you think about these storylines in your head, like, okay, does this make sense? You come up with a better story for your build. It makes more sense when you look at it. You could build it however you please, obviously. That's the beauty of this game. But it is a matter of you need to kind of think about these things. So I'm looking at the exterior here. I was thinking about doing like a wood panel. And then I tried the brick. And the brick is beautiful because it's got the wood and the brick. But then you get the kind of a weird layout on the top on the bottom. So then I tried to find that same wood, and I'm actually unsuccessful. This looks close, but if you look at it, the color is actually off. And it doesn't have that side railing going on. So I just hit the undo button and back it goes. And we start over. No big deal. No stress. And here I'm just trying to find one that I like. And, it's a process, to find what you like. And that's, it's really helpful to have a picture image in your head or in front of you where you're like, yes, this is the house I'm copying. Yes, I want these color schemes. Or you think like I'm building in the desert. I am building in a woodland area. I am building in the city, and you think about like, what would that house look like? What colors would that house most likely be? And then you think about the family that you want to put in there. Like, what are they going to look like? What is their story? What are their needs? Do they need a single bedroom house because they're just starting out or they're ending at the end of their lives? Or is this a family that's growing and needs more space? Or is this just a massive family that needs a mansion like in my previous builds? So I imagine this build is kind of like an average house. Oh, these are fun. So these little things do I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but you click on them and they can go around the center of your home. And it just really adds that chef's kiss to it. Now they do have these, but they are for higher up. So like if you didn't have that roof line up there, then you would be able to put it up there. But I do have the roof. And you see they're grayed out. They won't even let you try it. They're like, nope. Here we're eyedropping again. We're dragging the tile to the edge. And I'm just looking at it like, do I like it? I don't know. And this is kind of where planning it out. So like, okay, what room is what here? There you go. You see I've doubled up the wet rooms The bathrooms on top of each other. And I imagine that the bedrooms would have carpet, not the wood. So we have the master bedroom, and then we have the 2 children's bedrooms, or maybe 1 child's bedroom and an office, or a nursery and a child's room, or a teenager room and a child room. You know, it's really up to you and your story that you're telling. So we're pretty much getting there with this house and this build, and you can see it just looks great. For starting off with tiles, I mean, think about it. Look how great this house is. We've got a decent house going. Got a nice patio, lots of potential for this house. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead so you don't have to watch for it. And I'm going to do the landscaping, I'm going to do the furnishing, and I'm just going to finish this house up and just make it look great for you. So we're going to pop here in just any minute now, and then you're going to see a finished version of this house. There we go. And there's the potential of this house. So, you know, I gave it a driveway, I gave it some more, I changed out the patios, gave it some furnishings, very simple. So we ended up with 2 children's rooms, and you had big old pool, master bedroom, play area, living room, bathroom, dining area, kitchen. Here we're zooming in a little here. So we got the beautiful kitchen, or dining room, the kitchen. And back there you can see the stairway. Here we go. Here's the living room. And then the bathroom. And you can see the hallway's got a little bit of decorating in there. The other bathroom, the master bedroom. Little play area. Child 1 room, child 2 room. The deck. The lower deck, the pool, hot tub, and some landscaping. All of this came from tiles, you guys. It is perfectly possible to do this house. I hope this has inspired you, and I look forward to seeing your builds. Thank you, and have a great day, night, or whatever time it is for you.
You